Maurice, do you mind like introducing Smart Health Lab to Eva because he doesn't know anything about it?
Yes, for sure. Alin, we are live now, so definitely that's a good starting point to for Maurice. Maurice.
So here I am, Maurice Cotteret of the smarthealthlab, the one part. The other part is also here. You see him. It's Thomas Schulz. We are broadcasting
Spanish.
in Spanish. We are broadcasting from Barcelona and Zurigos. No, it's Zurich. And just a few words about Smart Health Lab. We started this idea in April only. The basic task was to do a project, maybe an experiment, with automized communication. You may are familiar with the new technique of having bots for communication. That means certain routines in Twitter and in Slack, as we use it to build up a community, are provided by the bot. Some people already checked that our communication is somewhat generic, and the others, I think for them it was very new. For us it is new too, and it is some kind of open platform to investigate the possibilities, chances, and the potential of bot communication in healthcare. As an analogy, maybe a communication between doctors and patients, or hospitals and patients, or other target groups, of course. So we went into this area, which is automized communication, artificial intelligence, conversational interfaces. There are a lot of stuff are being developed right now coming into healthcare. And on top of that, we are just doing it like this. For your information, we have a Twitter channel at Smart Health Lab, where we are collecting international professionals in healthcare from various disciplines. We are collecting them into our healthcare community free of charge, and we are going to activate the different professionals and experts to exchange the knowledge. The basic idea is also that to have an exchange place in the digital world in order to save travel time and costs. So this is an open experiment. There is no wrong or right. There is no better or badder. It is an experiment on the go. And the outcome we will see, I think, in a few months. And on the way there, we started now to do this lab talk we are doing right now. We want to push the issues we saw already in our Slack community and in the media a little bit further with provocative questions. You know, when a question has some contours, or it is a little bit sharp, you tend to do more answers, or answers in a different way, maybe emotional, maybe not. So that is the idea. We want to push issues and to build up a community. Is it okay for you?
Yes.
Okay. So, Thomas, did I forget anything?
No, thank you, Maurice, for the introduction, and sorry for the delay. We had some technical issues. What I really like about this new Smart Health Lab talk is that we set the agenda without any experts. You know, usually you say like, these are the guys and girls talking about this as expert or on the topic. But we started the other way around, you know, like we say there, we have some thesis, and I'm forcing people to join this talk, like Christine, saying like, oh, what I have to tell you now about all this stuff, you know, and I said, no, stay calm. But I think this is exactly the way we want to communicate with our people joining inside the Slack or inside our community, but as well outside, because when we made this on our Twitter channel like a promotion, we had various people like telling us, yeah, great things, and they want to join, even not being in our community on Slack, you know. And yeah, I'm really interested what will go inside this talk, you know. I have some thoughts and statements definitely about the topics, you know, but I think we can go forward like putting on a statement and then seeing like, okay, what are our opinions about that. Maurice.
Okay, first question. Will artificial intelligence replace the family doctors? You know, I heard this question in some way here and then at congresses, maybe at a very discreet, in a very discreet manner between two coffees or behind a wall that nobody is going to hear it. I would like to connect it with the following, that in two Belgian hospitals just now, there are robots installed, very small ones, I think about 1.20 meters high, and they are rolling around in the corridors, being ready or activating patients or other people walking around in the corridor. So there is suddenly a little robot. Maybe you find it disturbing or not, or you ask him, I am lost, I need to go to the emergency ward now. The robot would be able to give a precise answer how to get there in the hospital, which consists normally of 1,000 corridors. So this news for Switzerland, for instance, it changed a little bit the perception because it is Belgium. It is not Japan from our perspective. It's not Japan, it's not the States, it's Belgium. And there are two hospitals with these welcoming robots, some kind of artificial intelligence. If you open up the ideas, you could say that this kind of robots being able to communicate, giving advice, or maybe connecting through a telephone call to other experts, the family doctor can stay at home and in his office there is this robot working. That would be a drastic hypothesis. So I would like to start there, and as Thomas said, we are working a lot with rapid prototyping techniques, and sometimes that means step one, don't go into evidence-based details all the time. Let yourself, I wouldn't say let yourself flow, but go, you know, with your ideas and collect opinions and some facts. Later on, there is the deep dive to go through all the details. So just as a basic background. So again, artificial intelligence will replace the family doctors. Christine, what do you think about that when you hear it?
I believe probably it will complement the family doctor, but I don't see it ready to replace it yet, to replace them yet. So as you say, the examples we see today, they do the very precise and clear things, like where to get there, how can I find this information. However, my family doctor interacts with me. They can sense my feelings, they can sense how I look like, my tone, and not only the things that I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So at least I didn't see proof yet that artificial intelligence is that mature.
Yeah.
It can happen
Yep.
in the next years.
Yep.
But as it is today, I think it's not ready yet.
Yep.
So yeah, I would see its role in helping in hospitals in so many things with predefined answers. But when it comes to acknowledging how you feel, I think there's more that needs to be done.
I think absolutely right. There are some qualities about us human beings which are hard to detect for a machine. If I may place it like this. Aline, Barcelona, what do you think about this? Artificial intelligence says not buenos dias, but goodbye to the family doctors.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
You-
Yeah, I wanted to say that.
Hasta luego, Maurice. You don't
Yeah,
want to say
the artificial intelligence
doctors.
is saying hasta luego to the doctors.
Ah, okay. No, that won't happen.
Uh-huh.
I agree what Christine was saying, what you were saying. It will complement the doctor. We may help the family doctor to do a better job, to have better information, maybe quicker diagnostic. But I won't replace it.
Mhm.
So also, I think that what you were saying now we're talking before, like in September, we have a session on face recognition and
Mhm.
eye recognition. So that will also like really support, and that will can also help identify like emotions on the people's face.
Mhm.
So again, it's maybe supporting, but it's getting closer. Like yeah.
Mhm. I think so too. You were really touching the very crucial point. It's about censoring the human being's feelings, or as Christine said, the mood, or how I'm gonna answer. A human being would know from the answer there is a certain tone in the answer which indicates the person is maybe nervous or whatever. So you are right, the face and eye recognition is one part. I would like to add, there was the test in the airports, which are, they have a keen interest to know about emotions of travelers, maybe to detect, according to certain patterns, difficult people, which may later on in the airplane can cause some problems. And because to that, there is not only the face and eye recognition, they are calling this galvanic skin response. It is a sensor which is already available to scan the surface of your skin, and according to the heat, the humidity, or I think there are other stuff to be measured. It could be related to certain patterns which are indicating, oh, a very nervous or happy. But I think so too. Thomas, what do you think? You have been in the data business for quite a long time. Sensors to be connected to data measuring or data work. Will it go in this direction? Do you know something from laboratory researches?
Yeah, I have been working with IBM for several years before I went to Barcelona. And I don't agree what you're saying that they won't replace it. I think sooner or later, because I saw like yesterday or 2 days ago, they made a new robot, like Boston Robotics, and it was a little bit frightening, to see like, okay, a robot can move himself and doing gestures of human. And this is like only the robotic part we were talking about before, but now talking about what you asked me about data and information and like all the gesture, voice recognition, everything. I think the computers are much better than human beings, like doctors. Yes, for sure. Sometimes it helps like to talk to a doctor face to face, but it's more like a psychological thing, in my opinion, and not like to really get a better treatment. And there are so many inefficiencies, I think, that this can be replaced very easily. But I don't think the people or like how you say, like they are not ready for do that now. But from a technological perspective, very difficult word,
Yeah.
I would say this would be very easily and will be possible. So, but I think the people are not ready. They are frightened. They see like, okay, what will happen if a robot or an artificial whatever will treat me? But I think it would be already be possible with all the technology and the improvements we had and all the data and information without any problems.
I think so too. By the way, I attended yesterday evening startup event, the first of its kind in Zurich for healthcare tech companies. And there was this one company, and they said their speciality is data mining in the unstructured data of doctors. Let's say by the time now, a typical family doctor has collected lots of data about his patients. For certain questions in the daily routine business, it would be very helpful to go through that data so quick that maybe if the patient has a question or is something related to his history in the treatment, let's say for several years, the doctor would be able, according to super fast data analysis and providing answers or hints, that his service as a human being would be much better. And it seems that there are traditional compendiums. By the way, for Switzerland, the name is true. Compendium is an online-based database for family doctors to help them in their daily business. So not to have 1,000 books in the office, but only a computer terminal where you can put in maybe a question and to have it in almost real time ready for the patient. That is nothing like artificial intelligence, but maybe it is a part which will be implemented later on into the artificial intelligence. As you said, Thomas, with having that in hand, a big data mountain managed in seconds by a clever software provided into a robot talking, that could be creepy. But at the same time, it could be very efficient. Christine, you said before, there is, I would say, there is the human part, the feelings, the emotions. The machine cannot cope with that.
Just not
would you still, not yet, but would you think, listening to all these crazy surface facts we are collecting here, it could show the way into something different when it comes to basic treatment at the family doctor?
I'm not so sure. I still believe that, as you said, it makes the humans work much more efficient and much more quick and much more precise. But I think there is still this bit of human intervening. They need to intervene still.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Barcelona? Would you support that statement? That we are human, we us human beings, we stay human beings, and we still need some interaction with human beings?
We do need, but for simpler problems, we could have this database combined with artificial intelligence and maybe a survey, something like a WebMD, where you answer simple questions and maybe with your own personal data that the doctor already has, they could diagnose you at least for simple treatments. Something more severe, or when we're talking operations, I do agree you'd need a personal touch.
Yeah, I think so too, that for basic treatment, or let's say the diagnostic part, I think sometimes, as myself, there is an area which can be replaced in a way dramatically. It's only in a way diagnosis. That is just collecting stuff, data indications before the doctor would start the personal talk. So I would say thank you. I made some notes for a crispy posting afterwards, just to say you. Anything to mention?
Yes, can I add something, Maurice?
Yes, of course.
So there's an example we were talking yesterday to like follow up on Christine's comments. There are those robots that exist now that will be used for like older people or people who are like alone in their home and need company. and these people actually able to read the emotion on the people's face and to answer accordingly. So if the people are sad, they're just gonna make a joke or something to cheer them up. And I mean that's a bit different than we're not talking about the primary doctor, but in that case you don't really need human interaction. The robot is replacing human interaction.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe for kind of interacting and for as a source of information, like when we talked about the personal assistant at home before, Maurice, I think that's absolutely adequate, because they can have all the information to keep you entertained and to keep you informed when you ask questions. It's just, yeah, the treatment part that is a little bit different in this regard. So.
Also, if I remember, Aline, wasn't there in Health 2.0 Barcelona this year, wasn't there a startup having something like the sensor at home would recognize if a person is falling down? And if the person fell down in the apartment, it would activate an emergency call. I'm not sure. I think maybe it wasn't Barcelona, but I heard it lately that there are, as you say, this is some kind of managed home care in a way. Maybe by artificial intelligence or just procedures provided to help elderly or alone people at home. Absolutely. I think that's a very good idea where it could lead to. Maybe away from the family doctor and making the home a new hospital in a way.
And there are even more simple ways of monitoring, like movement monitoring. So, like, did this person open the fridge for the last 24 hours? And I know that this is already in use with elderly people. So if the person didn't use the fridge for 24 hours, it probably means this person might not be feeling well. And then it kind of creates an alarm with the HCP, the healthcare professional. So.
Very good. Very good. That would lead to another question, which we, I think, already made a note for Smart Health Lab to put on another lab talk. Thank you. So that would be home as a hospital, another issue.
Yeah.
Wow, cool. Thank you. I think we might go to the second question. Otherwise, we are here because it's so fascinating. And suddenly we see on the clock, oh my God, it's 6 p.m. I think I have to eat. So not to have that, or not to experience such a kind of dramatic situation, we are going to the second question. It was about the automation, how it called, automatization of the administration. My God.
Automación de la administración. No.
I like that much more. Automación de los administración. Okay, very good. I like it. So I was reading lately that they say about 40% of especially administration people are still employed. 60%, however, maybe they are walking in the outside world, in the woods, collecting mushrooms and other stuff to eat and survive. No, to make it real, they would have to do something different. Maybe, you know, this is the area of freelancers or whatever. But the dramatic thing in that statement was that could only be possible with automation. And as I experienced it, the administration, when it comes to working with a computer terminal or whatever, doing routines in finance, maybe in communication, maybe also in human resources, how they call it still today, there are a lot of routines could be replaced by informatics, or let's say machines, which would lead to a layoff of certain people. For right now, let's say the hospital wouldn't need a part of the administrative people anymore. What do you think about that? You don't have to raise the hand in digital, so you can just start to talk.
Yeah.
Christine?
Yes.
I think it's already starting from this regard. So if you look at radiologists, for example, you now have the area of teleradiology that is really rising. So you have a kind of freelance radiologists. So they're in a different place. And you send them the pictures. So you only need a technician in place, and you send them the pictures, and then they do it and send it back. If it was physically happening in the hospital, this would have included a lot of administrative steps. But now it's happening online.
Good.
So things are being sent and coming back, and things are being done elsewhere.
Yeah, but the question is what part are the administration of the healthcare costs? You know, it's not like the big part of the healthcare costs we have. Administration is not that much, I think. Or as I know from Switzerland, for example, it's not this low, like 6 or maximum 10% of all costs is about administration. You know, and all other stuff is like about pharmacy, new treatments, and new technology, and yeah, and as well the people. I think even if we make a lot of improvements in it, in the administration part, we won't save too much costs on that. Sure, there are possibilities of saving costs, but in the administration part, I'm not sure if this helps like the whole healthcare system to improve, you know, or
Well, I think that if you put in place, for instance, the online appointment system, and either you need less administrative person to deal with that, or those person can actually focus on what really matters, and they can spend more time on the people like you need, like human attention.
Mm-hmm.
And another point, so that's not really administration, but I was reading last week that now there's hospitals where the anesthesiologist,
Anesthesiologist.
they're not replaced by robots. So when you go to a hospital, you don't speak to a human person. You've got just so that also like kind of cut costs. It's not administration, but within the hospital, robots are kind of in that case like taking jobs.
Okay.
Okay. So,
You're still here.
Yeah, you're still here. I saw the icon of Smart Health Lab. So I thought that's clever branding. Good. Okay, so also I think stints in the administration wouldn't save that much, but going into other parts in a hospital, yes. By the way, in anesthesia, there are now, as you said, Christine, also for anesthesiology, they are some kind of freelance group. You can order them as a hospital or as a service provider to help you with some anesthesiology which you're needing just now a little bit, and they're going away again. You know, in a way, it's also some kind of automation of a certain part where normally in a hospital maybe you have 15 people, 20 people all the time ready for anesthesiology, which is not a bad thing. I think it reduces also times when they are not needed, but they have to stay there. It's a monthly salary-based job. And these kind of freelance team in Zurich, I never saw them, but I was reading about them, that they started the service, I think, 3 or 4 years ago, and they still exist. So things like this could also be an input or inspiration for hospitals, you know, to, let's say, rethink processes. Soon after this, you will have the questions, can I save costs? Which is always the very interesting part. So I see, let's put this together. I think I also some here that there is a lot of going on. Thomas, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm not sure if the quality is that
Guys,
good.
Sorry, Thomas, can I interrupt quickly? I need to go now. I have another call in 2 minutes. I need to run.
Okay.
See you later.
It was very seeing you all. Thank you very much for that. And Thomas, I see you a bit later.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, you're in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Nice to meet you all.
Ciao.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you. Hasta luego.
Bye,
Ciao.
guys. Hasta
Ciao.
luego.
Cool. So cool. So that leaves us, are we now the extreme trio left?
Yes,
Okay.
it looks like. But still we have someone seeing the video, so we are not that alone.
That's good. Okay. Hello to the viewer there. So last question. There was this provocative idea I had lately. Almost everyone is talking about the electronic health record. It's a big issue. And they're all waiting, you know, to provide the service or to be financed. There is the government asking for that. There are the hospitals thinking about that. So at the moment right now, everyone wants to aim for a target like 2017 in our neighborhood small country Fürstentum Liechtenstein, or us here in Zurich. This part of Switzerland should start in 2018, according to the government. But still, there is a lot open. The first phase, I understand it, is then the seamless availability of patient data managed by the patient, him or herself. So the patient is still in control, as I understand, but the data could be easily available to the doctor, to the hospital, to the insurance, to whatever part in the healthcare. And then I wanted to do it a bit more pushy when I said the EHR is an implemented chip in the human body. So the idea behind is if you then enter the hospital, let's say through a scanning system like on the airport to know if you have 1 or 2 guns in your jacket. Like this, a scanning installation at the main entrance of the hospital would then say, there is Maurice Codere coming. We have already scanned his EHR because it's implemented somewhere in his skin. So would you say that could be a vision to have your data implemented in the body? So you don't have to transport any USB sticks anymore or to send emails. It's over.
Yeah, the point would be if you have the data available, you know, like this is sometimes the issue, you know, we have treatments or diagnosis stuff, and usually you don't get this information, you know, even not on a USB stick. So how then, how would you have all the information available, you know, then, and this is the big issue they all want to tackle with eHealth, like saying connecting all the sources, information. But yeah, and I see it on my personally, you have treatment there or like some things, information there, and not in a central place, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, perhaps it would be like have like a chip inside myself to have all this information, and security stuff is everything solved, you know.
Yeah, which is a true thing. So let's think, or let's assume that this chip is capable of changing data or synchronizing according to a Bluetooth or near field communication system, whatever. So technically it would be possible, as I know that animals, pets are chipped as well. I think at least you have the owner and the telephone number if you collect 1 or 4 dogs in the woods while walking around, then to call the owner. So this is already in place in a way, but very basic. Christine, what do you think the body chip?
I think the biggest question in this regard would be the privacy issues, not the technology. I think technology is capable of doing this already, but it's the privacy question. And I think there is still a divide between how institutes, like legal parties and so on, see it and how patients would deal with it. As we saw in different real-life cases when people download health apps, like one of the apps that we discussed in Zurich last month, and we asked the owner how he did it and how it was received and how is the authentication of people and giving their information, and he said that more than 60% of the users would log in with their Facebook account and they would even agree to use their picture. So it looks like patients are seeing this, or people are seeing this from a different angle, so they are willing to share this information, but I think from a legal institution perspective, there is still a lot of big discussions around privacy and who can get access to the information, and if everything is central, what happens if it lands in the wrong hands, and so on.
Yeah, as Tom said, the security is...
Maurice?
It's freezing.
Yeah. Maurice has some technical issues.
Or yeah, you couldn't listen?
No.
No, there is.
You're free.
There is bad connection. So I try to rephrase the statement. The smart home initiative, that was something, as I remember, to come home, and according to your preferences, the home realizes that you are coming into the home, and the refrigerator starts to do something, the coffee machine, and maybe the bath tube is already full of very comfortable water to go in there and have a break. So I would say the technical side, it's here, but as you said, what is the legal perspective of this? So just walking around with your chip inside and having all the time your data collected, if you give the permission, would be an easy way, live free and have your health data available anytime, anywhere. That is, I think, not. It's a strong. It could be done, as you said. There is have to be so. The movie Gattaca.
Maurice, you are still freezed.
Oh my God!
Technology.
Did you hear me?
No. The last statement we didn't hear.
So maybe to come to an end, I said that technically yes, legally big problem.
Yeah, and I think as well about the collection of the data, where you get this information. It's not only about your body or things, but like external sources, treatments or analytics, everything, how you get this information to yourself, and this is, I think, the issue. A lot of hospitals, medicals, pharmacies, everyone has information about yourself, but not you, and even if I would have a chip inside, I wouldn't have all the information.
But you would have it when you, let's say, after every treatment or after every doctor talk, that situation is downloaded to your chip.
Yes, if the doctor makes it electronically available, you know,
Mhm.
like not putting it on paper or having in his mind.
The doctor doesn't have to do it as he's already replaced by a robot. And the robot, he can do it very quickly. But okay, that's another vision. Yes, I know. But so yes, thank you. If it's okay for you, I think we all had some kind of first impression. I would do a posting about that, and I would like then to come up with Thomas for a lab talk too. This is the start of a series. Successful things started always very small, you know, and after that there is the wave coming. But I like this talk, Christine. Was that okay for you?
Yeah, sure.
We cannot ask Aline because she already ran away. That is also a typical situation in the school plenum, you know, when somebody stands up and just leave the building. That is not the situation here because Aline had a meeting, but thank you very much for your time.
This is what they always say, you know, I have a meeting.
Yeah, this is the basic principle, you know, of business communication: never offend anyone. Tell some kind of protection statement. I have to go to another meeting. This is a very kind statement, and maybe that's not the truth. The truth would be too brutal. So I would say thank you very much for your time. Let's see the postings, and I would say till next time. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Yeah. See you
Bye.
next
Thank
time.
you. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.